My grandmother, who I affectionately call G, was a single mom with 5 children. G experienced all the hardships of a typical single parent, with one exception. My mother insists that her brothers were the baddest brothers on the planet. Now, my grandmother worked at the dry cleaners, and as you can imagine, she struggled to take care of her 5 kids. Like all parents, she wanted more for them. She wanted the best. To do that, she knew she had to make a change. And a huge part of that change would require her to make more money so that she could provide for her family and also expose her children to more life experiences. So, self-determined, she worked nights at the dry cleaners and during the day went to school to become a lab technician. And she succeeded. My grandmother became one of the first Black lab technicians at the VA hospital in Cleveland, Ohio. In fact, by coincidence, 20 years later, a close family friend came to work in that exact same lab. She actually took us there and showed that my grandmother's picture was still hanging on the wall. G successfully changed her life and the lives of her children, grandchildren, and generations yet to be born. 4 things came together for her to achieve her goals: a general vision and drive for herself and her family, access to education that she somehow figured out how to afford, support, which in this instance was my mom becoming a surrogate mother to her siblings when my grandmother went to school, and an opportunity to get a high-demand job that paid her a livable wage she could build on. What my grandmother navigated on her own, as luck would have it, I now get to work on at the system level. I collaborate with our Elevate and AZ partners to identify high-wage, high-demand careers in Arizona and create accelerated high school pathways for our students in these career fields. Whether they're going to college or straight to career, it's our job to remove barriers, synchronize resources, make sure students know what's possible, and help them get there. The vision is that every student understands the specific on-ramps to high-wage, high-demand careers that are aligned to their areas of interest. That they know what is needed and are supported to get there every step of the way. That master schedules, college degree pathways, and curriculum reflect alignment to these careers through maximized dual enrollment and professional certification options. That placement of students in these classes reflects operationalized, ruthless equity. That this process is affordable to our students and families, and that the adults working in this system are fully supported to achieve this vision and are celebrated when they do. That the graduates get the job. And we do that again and again and again for every student. Now, the path my grandmother took required great sacrifice. Fast forward to today, and her direct descendants have degrees or certifications, they've lived abroad and launched companies. But it's just not about getting the degree or making more money. If we think that's the end goal, then we're missing the point. It's about what those things can bring. Greater access and opportunities for broad life experiences. We're talking about the stuff of life here. Now imagine if my grandmother had access to and completed the vision for accelerated pathways earlier in her life, say by a decade. And I'm not talking about the old systems that push students into careers based on the color of their skin or the country of origin. I'm talking pathways with equity as a driving force. That million points of light that she created could have happened over a decade sooner. Now, that could also mean that I would be standing here in front of you because an alternative reality was created where I don't exist, but that is a completely different TED Talk, and I digress, so let's get back to the topic at hand. If my grandmother had access to and completed accelerated pathways early in her life, say by a decade, that million points of light that she created could have happened much sooner. And the impact could have been exponentially larger on my family on the Black employees that followed in her footsteps, on the community that could see in her that there's proof it can be done. If my grandmother could have managed this a decade sooner, oh, what she could have achieved. Time. Time is the moral imperative here. To treat it as the precious commodity that it is. So when you're back in your home, in your partnership meetings, and you find your team deliberating roles, admiring barriers, and lamenting the process of change, and someone passionately declares, we have to go slow to go fast, I urge you to think of the countless students that need access and opportunity to change their lives. And I want you to look them in the eye and say, no, not this time.